Hi everyone, I'm Alex Haig and welcome to this Eddyfi coffee break. I hope you've got a really nice drink with you and thank you very much for taking some time to listen to me talk. I'm going to be talking about something I'm very passionate about today, and that's human-centered design and the Sonyks software. So I'm just going to share some slides and get talking. Okay, so my background is in ultrasonic guided waves and software development. I'm a software developer and I work with the team of software developers who have made the software for the Sonyks, both the embedded and the desktop. And one of the things we've done for this development is we've really embraced human-centered design. So why human-centered design? Well, in this day and age, everybody expects thoughtful design in the products that they use. Even if it's some scientific engineering application, having just the functions work isn't enough. It needs to be something that works very well so that you can focus on the task at hand and really enjoy your job and get what you need done efficiently. And thoughtful design comes from empathy. So you can have a very talented software engineer and a very clever designer, but without an understanding of the people that are going to use the product and how they're going to use it, they're really hampered in their ability to apply thoughtful design. So we started with empathy and humans for this project. Who are the humans? Well, in this case, there's a whole number of roles. These are some of them that are involved with guided wave inspection. Everyone from the people doing the inspection to the asset owner and everyone in between. Now, we took time to understand these people and how they interact with each other and what they need from each other. And the reason we did that is because although if you are one of these roles, it might seem very obvious to you, as software developers who spend their whole time really engrossed in source code and making everything work, we may not fully understand what it's like to be on site in the field and the pressures you're under to deliver a high quality report and what needs to be in that report and how you use it. So we spent time exploring these people, speaking to real people, understanding what their experiences are like and what's involved in their job. There are many ways that we've done that. One is to really explore what it's like, the conditions for them, the time pressures they're under, what they've got to deliver, how they've got to deliver it, and what for them is a good day and what for them is a bad day. What can the system do to really help them get everything done that really matters to them in a way that is efficient, effective, and pleasant? We've communicated that between the team with a lot of conversation, with goofy drawings like this one, but also some detailed analysis of the workflows that the people who use the software and the system have, all the interactions they have and the different ways of working. We've debated them and we've trained each other to question every aspect of the design with this in mind. So when I propose a detail to somebody, I expect them to come back to me and say, but in this scenario, I wouldn't imagine this would be nice because of some whatever reason. And it's much more than just saying, please make this button work. Please put this window here. It's giving everyone an understanding of how people are using the system so that they can come up with thoughtful design and everyone in the team is contributing. And we found that's gone very well. So that's the idea. That's something that we've really embraced for Sonyks. And what I'd like to do with the rest of the time is just show aspects of the Sonyks software where I think this has made a difference. So first of all, let's start with the big picture. The whole system over time has got more and more efficient, easy to use, productivity has got higher, and doing the job has got more pleasant. And that's only especially true with the Sonyks system. You can now pick up the whole system, walk to a location with all the equipment in hand, and connecting it all together is easy, getting on with the job is easy. And I'd like to think that with Sonyks in your hands, you're really hoping that people are looking over your shoulder and watching you work, because you're always adding value, you're always being productive, and it always looks good. So now I'll give you some specific examples. So this is the what we call the dashboard. This is the screen where you can see the equipment that's plugged into your instrument. It's the start of the workflow when you're going to do a test. And what this is showing is that somebody has plugged in their equipment into the side of a Sonyks instrument, and automatically the system has detected what that equipment is and filled out all of the details for you. So there's no data entry has been needed on this occasion, because just plugging it in has found everything. And that's used for the setup. It's also recorded for reporting. So we have things like serial numbers and everything automatically captured. In fact, in the piezoelectric tools, we also have orientation sensors. So the system's also able to know whether it's a horizontal pipe or a vertical pipe, and help you with recording the orientation of the tool. So there's a lot less data entry to do. Another thing is to do with the way that Sonyks allows you to build up a project within the software. Previously, everything was handled on a per test basis as you worked, but now you build up a structure of your project as you work in Sonyks. For example, you would add a pipeline and a datum, and then every time you test, you can reuse those components so that you don't have to enter details twice, and the software knows how those things relate. Now, there are lots of ways you could do this inspection. One example would be you'd do line 1, and then you'd go back and do line 2. Another example is that the lines may run parallel, and you would inspect 2 locations across the 2 pipes and then move on. So what this means is that test 2 on line 1 has been done after test 1 on line 2. But the software knows that. When you select to add test 2 to line 1, it recalls all the details for line 1, and it knows what diameter and so on, so that there's after that selection, a lot of the details are known and automatically filled out for you. So the productivity through an ease of use is really enhanced by that. And it also means that when we come to report, it's already known. Here are some screenshots that show that by example. So on the left, I'm showing the Project Explorer. So that shows you all of the pipelines you have in your project, how many tests are within them, and you can see for the selected pipeline what tests exist. And you can see that the green tick there shows that they have been completed. So we can quickly see the status of those, and I know that those have been analyzed and are ready for reporting. Also, during the setup, as I say, you can select an existing pipeline, an existing datum, and after that, most of the selections are selected for you, so you can hit next, 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 until you get through to the analysis and see the results. The analysis also benefits from a lot of aspects of thoughtful design. I'd like to think that there's a lot of little ones, but some of the major ones are how we've made it work for the touchscreen. We no longer have a list of tests. You just have data you can browse with a slider so that you can focus on that. And really the whole idea is that your eyes are really attracted to the thing that matters. You're not searching for buttons or thinking about menus. You don't think what your fingers are doing. You're just looking at the data and concentrating on the data, getting around it very quickly. Another thing we have is we're using full matrix capture. So we acquire all of the data during the setup in the background as you're clicking through, so that by the time you reach the analysis stage, you have a complete set of data. You can unplug your tool lead. You can start moving to the next location if you want to, or one person can set up the next location while another does analysis. Whichever works for you most. You can do everything without acquiring again, including that is focusing. So we're able to synthesize active focusing with that data to produce the same kind of results as you had before, but you don't need to go back to the site to do that. So if you choose to do focusing in your hotel room or on your flight home, that's very easy. And of course, we've built everything around reporting. So every action you're doing here is building up content for the report, which is then automatically put together so that you don't have to put that effort in. So yes, so a big part of looking at how humans use the system, understanding what they need and what their problems are, it really drew our attention to reporting and how important that was. We really realized that the Sonyks is, if anything, it's a report content maker. It's something that you need to use to build a report for your clients. And the quality of those reports and how they're structured is very important. So we've looked at that, and we've built throughout the software things that support constructing that report as you go. Here's an example of that, and that's to do with how you report coverage of the work you've done. If on a test-by-test basis, you'd show something like this. So here we see test 1 and test 2, and there's individual information about those two tests. So test 1 has a diagnostic range of 12 meters backwards and 55 meters forwards, and a dead zone of around plus or minus a meter. And test 2 has similar details. But that's not very digestible. What we provide through Sonyks is when you generate a project report that highlights your coverage, you get, along with a tabulated data, you get a nice display of the coverage. And very quickly, you can see what that means. In this example, you can see that the total coverage includes only one dead zone. And that's because the dead zone of test 2 happened to be covered by the coverage of test 1. So all of that's generated automatically for you. It's done for every test in your project, so that you can provide very quickly some very useful and very otherwise they would it's content that would otherwise have been very difficult to produce manually, but it's all generated for you straight away into your document so that you can just provide that ready to go. The project reporting is a function that exists in both the instrument and the desktop version of the software. So you can actually complete the entire job on the unit if you want to. And what you get is a simple tool that lets you select all of the tests that you want to include and all of the chapters of the report that you want to include. You have a little profile editor there, so you can set up what is normal for your business, how you want to have it. And you generate a Word file for the entire project. And in this case, I'm automatically going to get a 47-page document with all of these chapters, all of them dynamically drawing in information from different tests and producing something that's very meaningful. We don't expect to completely rule out the use of Microsoft Word. We know people like that. Everybody has different ideas of what they want to do. So we prepare all of the content, and then in Microsoft Word, you're free to make it your own font style. And if you want to make headings, Comic Sans, that's up to you. You can go ahead and do those things, but the hard work is all done for you. So our expectation is project reporting should always be a short task that you can do, and we'd like to think under a day. So that's the end of the slides I want to give. What I'd like to do next is just quickly show the actual software, so that I haven't just shown you screenshots, I've shown you the real thing. Well, what I'm going to show you today is the embedded version of the software. So it's as if it's running on the touchscreen on the instrument, but I am going to show you on the desktop just because it's a little bit easier to navigate. Okay, so here we have an example project. I can open that. Here's the Explorer. I can see all of the pipelines I've inspected, how many tests they've got, and I can see the tests that I've got. Just touch on one of those to open it. And you can see these 4 tabs at the top. That's the workflow: set up the equipment on the dashboard, set up the test, and analyze and report. I've already acquired this data, so I'm on the analysis stage. But I can easily go back through and see the details if I want to. And I can also go forward to reporting and get that live preview of the report that I've built as I've been working. And I can go back and forth through this as much as I like. Any changes that I make on this screen become something that get reflected in the report live as I work, so I can easily generate new content, make sure I'm happy with it, and when I am, I'm just going to flag this as ready for reporting, save my changes, and there we go. So that's the workflow that I'm working through. Very quick and easy. I have freedom to add any content I like, and I can do that for all of my tests. And then all that leaves to be done is to generate the Word file, open it up in Microsoft Word, and you can see that I have all that content that I want to include presented for me in the report. One last thing I'd like to say is that we have hyperlinked a lot of things. So if you're looking at the coverage or the follow-up table or the test details, you can navigate around quickly if you're looking at a PDF to get a good understanding of quickly digest the report. All right, so I think that's the end of everything I wanted to say. If I can now take any questions, I'd be very, very pleased to answer them. Okay, so Melissa asks, what is the productivity of this equipment compared to earlier versions? Right. Well, we've taken the system to site and we've done we've reproduced real jobs. So entire weeks of inspection where we're generating content for reports and making the project reports. And based on our experience, we were able to achieve something like 50% more tests a day with the new system compared to the last. So if we were doing 10 tests a day, 10 locations a day, last time we're doing 15 now. But also, as I say, the time spent in the office generating that project report is much quicker than before. So you can go back out and do another job soon after. So the productivity is a lot higher. All right. Victoria asks, what are the training requirements for using this equipment? Same as before, I believe. We offer training courses for level 1 and level 2. They're C-SWIP certified courses. I think the level 1 is 40 hours online and then 40 hours in the classroom. So it's split that way. And the level 2 is 40 hours in the classroom. If you already have those tickets, then to use the new system, you don't need to retake those training courses. You can just spend some time with one of our technical sales support people and we'll help you get acquainted with the system and carry on with your existing training. Okay, somebody's asking about what happens if the weather's bad. What happens with the touchscreen if you're in hospitable environments? What if it's cold? Well, pretty much a majority of the software you can operate with these buttons around the outside. So if you're wearing gloves and you don't want to touch the touchscreen, most features of the software you can use with the buttons. Maybe if you're typing out details, you might need to take your gloves off for setting up the first test on a pipeline. But after that, you can get a lot of tests done with your gloves on, all the way up to analysis. And if you need to, of course, because you don't have to complete the analysis on site, there are no secondary acquisitions. You can do that detailed analysis back in an office where it's nice and toasty warm, which means that the problems with wearing gloves are pretty minimal. Do we have any more questions? Well, I guess I have one ask for you. I talked about our passion for human-centered design, which means we're always looking for more information about people's experiences, good and bad. We'd love feedback about the system. We want to hear how you get on with it, and also just any stories you've got about doing guided wave inspection on site. Please do get in touch. We'd be absolutely delighted to hear from you.